I just saw a funny tweet while you're doing that.
Yes, do it.
It's about Sam Darnold. It goes Sam Darnold, colon, does nothing for 6 seasons in the NFL, signs to be JJ McCarthy's backup in 2024, learns from McCarthy all spring and summer long. JJ gets hurt. Darnold goes 14-3 in back-to-back seasons and wins a Super Bowl. JJ is somewhere smiling, proud for his protege.
That's good.
It's actually unreal.
Did you guys see there was another stat I saw a tweet vaguely. It was like the 2016 Owen no, the 20 whatever Owen 16 Browns points per drive was like 1 point something and or maybe not 1 point something. The Browns Owen 16 team had a higher points per drive than the Patriots playoff offense.
Sounds
So,
about right.
yeah. So just to kind of give you historical context for how bad the Patriots offense was in the playoffs. Um, so yeah, I guess that kind of just works us right into the 32nd episode of the Forward Pass podcast, and we'll get straight to it. Not a good game. Caleb, could you give me the plagiarized quote I used?
I said that game could have been in an email.
Could have been an email. Caleb, the email would read, ladies and gentlemen, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl 29-13, I believe. Kenneth Walker was the MVP, 27 carries, 135 yards, 5.0 average. Darnold was an excellent game manager, didn't have any costly turnovers, only took one sack. The Drake May stat line, very deceiving. He was 27 of 43, 295 through the air, two touchdowns and two picks. Um, the Pats are 1-7 when he throws the ball 35 plus times in his career. This game was just an obvious mismatch. So, guys, just anybody want to give their thoughts on kind of watching this game as it unfolded?
I think the biggest standout for me and the most impressive part of the Seahawks win was how much pressure they were able to generate. And I think that that's the thing that changed the game and swung it in favor of the Seahawks. I don't know if it'd be a closer game if if the Patriots are able to pick off some of the balls that were probably a little bit more turnover worthy in the first half and give the Patriots better field position. But it really seemed like no matter what happened, they weren't going to be able to generate any offensive momentum and move the ball consistently. And I think it was really impressive by Mike McDonald the way he schemed up getting pressure and then having the understanding mid game that he was going to be able to get pressure without having to go to blitz looks and potentially leave his defense vulnerable. And then he just started letting four guys rush the passer, and they had success doing that too. And I think that overall defensive masterclass, and it was spearheaded by him and his approach to attacking Drake May, trying to make him uncomfortable. And that's what I'll always remember and what will always stand out for me from this game. I think I saw some clips. Devin Weatherspoon had a he blitzed the quarter or he rushed the QB 33 times in 12 games this year, and then yesterday he had 7 rushes. So a big percentage of what he did over an entire season, he made that up in one game in the Super Bowl, and it was definitely a wrinkle that the Patriots weren't ready for.
Yeah, the Witherspoon
And
Sam blitz was from the nickel was
yep, and
auto
it was
all
a lot
day.
of times where the Seahawks were rushing five, but it wasn't identified right. The protection wasn't set up in the right way to pick up the five guys, and you were wasting O linemen on people that would eventually drop, and that's what was able to get pressure on Drake May. And when he was throwing hot, the Seahawks did a great job tackling, great job making sure that those checkdowns didn't go for big yards. So that was the most impressive thing. Few stats. Drake May was pressured on 48% of his dropbacks, which was the highest percentage in any game this postseason, including the Houston versus Pittsburgh game, which I'm sure you guys remember well, where
Yeah.
where Rodgers was getting battered and bruised. But partially Drake May's fault. I think that he got a little uncomfortable as the game progressed and definitely felt the pressure. He got a little happy feet in the pocket and wasn't pulling the trigger on some throws. And then there was an offensive line component as well, for sure. Will Campbell definitely struggled in some reps. Jared Wilson had a tough against Riley Mills. I remember that, just getting walked back to the QB and getting sacked. So a total collective breakdown in protection, and it makes you appreciate some of the less talked about factors that really have a big influence on football games. And I think you saw it on the grandest stage of football. So it's really going to shine a light on the vulnerabilities the Patriots have with their roster, even though they had so much success this year, and just overall great scheme and defensive performance by McDonald and this legendary Seahawks defense at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna add a few things. I was gonna say first, I think you saw the clear difference in, I guess the the experience that the Seahawks got in the playoffs at this point. They were playing like the teams like the Rams and the Niners versus the Patriots that kind of had this. It's not a cakewalk, I would say, because they still made it to the Super Bowl, but it was very fortuitous path they had, and I think that did have a big impact in this game because the Seahawks were used to the high level, and I think that the Seahawks, like the Rams, were better than the Patriots in my opinion. Like the Seahawks played them 3 times this year, and had so much more experience playing those like high end teams and know what they need to do. And another thing, I just thought that with 8 minutes or 9 minutes left in that ball game, when the Patriots are driving, like it's still a 2-score game. Anything can happen. And then Drake May throws the pastrami on rye across the middle, and then it's like he's gonna have some
A Reuben across the middle.
Yeah, he throws a Reuben across the middle, and then they give up a 40-yard return. Like it's just stuff like that with a young quarterback. But I think there was definitely obviously there were some learning curves. I just think that the weapons for the Seahawks or the Patriots just were not getting it done. A lot of drops, a lot of errant throws from May, but definitely something for them to build on. But I'm like the thing, it's like people always say, oh, they'll be back. I don't think the Patriots will ever be back in this situation.
See, I think to step in here, I think they are just way ahead of schedule, and this was like because of the quarterback injuries that happened this year, and because of the Bills not being able to get their shit together, or the Ravens, and then Bo Nix getting hurt, like they just had an easier road, and this probably shouldn't been the way it played out, but it's a weaker AFC, and like the cards just kind of fell for them. So I think like they're really in year 2 of a rebuild. The year 1, Gerard Mayo, and then they obviously fire him, and then this is the Vrabes year 1. This is year 2 of Drake May. So if you're counting that as the rebuild, like they're just way ahead of schedule. The defense is really good, as we've been pointing out on the podcast. I just want to mention they only really have to pay top dollar for 2 guys, Gonzalez in 2027, and then Drake May in 2028. Other than that, they're paying below the top 10 in each position market for all their guys. Like, they can go hunting for another weapon. They'll probably use a lot of draft capital on that. They've got cheap edge rushers right now, with Chason being kind of a rebound from the Jags. So I just think like the roster construction is really good, and they're way ahead of schedule. This team's going to be a lot better in 2 years than they were now. Now, in 2 years, you're going to have to deal with probably a healthier Chiefs, probably a better Bills, probably we'll see about the Ravens. So maybe
Steelers.
The Texans find something. Maybe the Lurs with Arch Manning are in the conversation. So you just never really know what it's going to shake out like. Obviously, this is a big missed opportunity for the Patriots, but they're way ahead of schedule. I mean, think about what the Seahawks did in their rebuild. So the Seahawks in 2021, they get rid of Russell Wilson. So 2022, Geno Smith, they go 9-8. They lose in the wild card, 9-8 again the next year. They lose. They don't make the playoffs. Then they fire Pete Carroll. It's the Mike Macdonald era, 2024. And then they go 10-7, don't make the playoffs. And then this year, obviously, Super Bowl. So, that's year 4 of the rebuild as opposed to year 2. So think about the Pats in year 4. That's kind of my bullish case for the Patriots. Like, year 4 of year 3 Vrabes, year 4 rebuild will look a lot different than what it is now. And obviously you're thinking the steps that Drake May could take, because he was just not, he was young in that moment. You could tell just from snap 1 to snap 70 on offense. Like, he didn't have a lot of feel. Not like he got ton of help from the run game and the offensive line, but he wasn't seeing the blitzes right. Like, the protection was set wrong routinely. So when the protection set, like every time the Sam blitz came, like the right guard was going to the left. So there was just odd numbers every time for the O-line. So they weren't really being put in any good situation. So May's going to develop. If I'm a Patriots fan, like obviously this one hurts, but this is going to be, you're thinking like, oh wow, we get to the Super Bowl with this roster and this quarterback play, like we in this O-line, like we should be good, especially since the defense, like what other guy besides Gonzalez? They have a rookie safety that's really good. Like that Marcus Jones is under contract. Their linebackers are like fill in the blank white dudes. So that's really what I've got on the Pats. Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, I have two things. Number one, this is a pretty historic game for reasons that aren't really being talked about. First off, being that this is only the third time since 2000 that the NFL team with the highest point differential in the regular season has won the Super Bowl. The most recent team is the Patriots in their big comeback against the Falcons when they were down 28-3. Um, so yeah, usually you don't see a team that has been this dominant from the get-go win the Super Bowl. And the second cool stat is we've given a lot of credit on this podcast to John Schneider, Seattle's GM, and his ability to draft and develop rookies, which has allowed, and younger players, which has allowed them to, disperse their money evenly. And one of the best investments that they've made on their roster is no other than their punter, Michael Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
He is the highest paid punter in the NFL, makes $4 million a year, and deservedly so, because like you guys talked about, Drake May, young, didn't see blitz as well, but he was also at a field position disadvantage for the majority of this game. And that is because of Michael Dixon and how well they were able to flip the field punting, and they were also able to pin them inside the 6-yard line 3 different times throughout this game. So yes, their offense was very efficient and did exactly what they needed to do to win this game. The defense was obviously amazing, but big shout out to the special teams, not only just Jason Myers with 5 field goals, but they did a really good job punting the ball and winning a field position battle as well.
Do you want to, Duska, do you want to kind of go into, I mean, I guess the best storyline because the game wasn't great is Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring him up if we didn't transition to Sam Darnold, but I think so. Just this game by itself, individually, I think Sam Darnold kind of got pushed to the back just with how the game unfolded and how dominant the defense was. And I don't think that's going to be the narrative of the season. I don't think it's going to be remembered that Sam Darnold didn't do much in the Super Bowl, got carried to a win, anything like that. I think first and foremost, it's pretty awesome that Sam Darnold was able to go from being pushed away from the Jets after 3 years to winning a Super Bowl. And I think everyone should just be happy for him from a sports accomplishment story perspective. I think it's pretty darn cool that someone was able to come from that low and labeled a bust, seeing ghosts, whatnot, and build himself back up and have that internal belief and motivation to keep getting after it and keep getting better. And you see the culmination of that here. And I think that this team might go down. This team's probably going to be remembered for its defense, but I think Sam Darnold deserves a lot of credit for how well he played in the NFC Championship game, which got them to this point. And he was pretty consistent throughout the year, turnover prone in the regular season, but was also able to create a lot of explosive plays and produce a lot of offense for this team when they needed it. So I think just overall very impressive and a nice bow on top of I mean, this will probably be a documentary at some point because it's such a compelling story from a guy that was the dude at USC, came out in the draft and got drafted really high by the Jets, and then went on this crazy journey and ends up hoisting a Lombardi trophy. So I'm just feeling pretty fulfilled in seeing him be able to take it to the finish line and for him to complete the journey and win a Super Bowl. I don't know how you guys feel about Sam Darnold, but yeah, he was kind of like Carson Beck in the college football playoffs in this one.
I think he actually played a little better than Beck. I thought that Darnold had some fun. Like, even in this game, like there was a clear game plan that the Seahawks were just going to feed Walker and like Darnold took a back seat. But he also has, I think, some great plays. There was one in particular, I forget what quarter it is, where he goes to like his fourth read in progression, and he's like scrambling out, and he hits a guy for like an easy first down. And it was like just plays like that I'm not saying like those are what like the plays that separate like a good quarterback from just like an all right one, but when he's able to like do things on his own and out of like a script and out of like system and stuff like that, I think that's awesome. And yeah, I think obviously Chuck's going to talk about it, but or I assume he is because it's in the doc. But I mean, it's they've just got like Darnold. They hit on Darnold, and I think that he's like that's good. It's a great story for him and also the Seahawks to have capitalized on his returns.
Yeah, like
did you also look at their regular menu?
yo, Sam, is your mic's coming in?
Me going out loud.
All right, we'll cut that out. It's all good. Appreciate that, Arch. Listen, when you're a GM of an NFL team or anything in a cap sport, you're trying to pay 80 cents on the dollar. What production can you get for the cheapest amount of dollar value? And in the NFL, quarterback's like the biggest position, the highest paid position. So I want you guys to look at the doc real quick. And their quarterbacks in the NFL are kind of put into buckets. So you've got the 50+ million players. There's like a year average salary. There's like 11 or 12 guys. At the top of it is like 60 million Dak Prescott. At the bottom is Jalen Hurts, 51 million. And in that bucket, there's a handful of guys that deserve the money. So
Kyler Murray's got a nasty contract. Sorry to interrupt.
Nasty contract, Duska. Some of these contracts are disgusting. Like the
Tua,
the Goff, like just way too much money for the amount of production you're getting. But like Dak, Jordan Love, like the cap hits are insane. Jordan Love at 55 million, Trevor Lawrence at 55 million, but Allen at 55, Burrow at 55, and then Lamar at 52 are like the 50+ quarterbacks that, you know, they at least they earn that money, right? And even this year, like Lamar didn't earn that money per se compared to like what his output was. But then in the next tier is like the 40 million+ quarterbacks. And this is like a 6-person tier. And the best contracts in here are the Mahomes deal where they're paying him 45 million a year. And then the Stafford deal where he's making 40 million a year on average. And then there's another bucket, a 3-person bucket of 30+ million quarterbacks. That's the Baker, Geno Smith, and Darnold bucket, where they're all making like 32 to 30. Yeah, the Kirk Cousins contract is unbelievable. 32 to 30. Yeah, and Kirk Cousins is in the $40 million bucket, by the way. But Darnold in that 30+ bucket is like such an unbelievably good contract. He's better than half the guys in the 50+ contract range, and he's making 33 million bucks. And I would venture to guess that through the rest of his career, he's gonna probably not ask for top dollar of the market because he knows what it's like to play on a team in 2 organizations with the Panthers and the Jets, where when you don't have things around you, like you look really bad and it gets really ugly really quick. So I wanted to rank the 3 best quarterback contracts in the sport right now. And so you guys let me know if you like my rankings. At number 1, Mahomes at 45 million is an absolute steal. He's probably the 16th highest paid quarterback right now because they paid him in 2018. That contract's aged beautifully. Stafford, who re-signed last year, took a discount at 40 million. He won the MVP at 40 million. So he's probably the 18th highest paid quarterback in the league. And then you've got Darnold at 3, where he's making $33 million. And with this level of production, you can literally win a Super Bowl for him. And you get the margin of whatever you're paying Trevor Lawrence 55 and you're paying Darnold 33. That's $23 million to go. I mean, $22 million to go work with in free agency or in the draft to sign, you know, more first or second round picks. Like it just gives you a little more flexibility. So those are my 3 contracts. What do you think the 3 best contracts in the NFL are, quarterback wise?
I think the first 2 are. I think the contract that has an argument in that $50 million bucket. Like you said, some guys are worth that much, some are not. And I think Josh Allen being signed at $55 million a year, he's not the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, but he's paid pretty well. But as the salary cap keeps increasing and he's signed through 2030, that contract is going to become more and more favorable as time goes on, as long as he doesn't want to renegotiate it. So the Bills are in a good position for the next few years because they'll be able to take advantage of the quarterback market getting reset,
You forgot
continuing
though.
to get reset.
Well, kinda, because although their quarterback market does get reset and they're gonna have more money to play with, they literally can't draft football players to start for them. So like, that's the next portion of their.
Well, yeah, that's separate from the contract you
I know
signed.
it was a joke, but like John
Just
Snyder,
one, yeah, no, that's fair. One other point I wanted to make. I think Mahomes is so startlingly, well, I can't say that word. But I think the
he's
Mahomes
underpaid.
contract is so impressive because yes, he's underpaid, first of all, and then also he signed through 2031. So that's 5 more years.
They
You
gave
get
him the
Patrick
baseball
Mahomes.
contract, like the
Yeah.
10-year
Yeah.
Bryce
Playing
Harper
at
deal. Yeah.
basically playing at bottom dollar at some point, and you get the productivity. You would assume he comes back from injury and is able to produce at the level he's been close to his whole career. So that one is just super impressive.
Yeah, I was gonna say my two favorite ones. Well, I agree with Dusk's thing. Did think that was very good point, the whole 2030 thing, because whenever like some younger quarterbacks are going to be signing bigger deals, like you could probably see that number. Like Jordan Love probably is not going to be the highest paid quarterback in 2 years because I think another guy's going to get trumped at. My favorite one though is Justin Fields, the idiot Jets paying him $20 million a year. That's my favorite.
My favorite one is Kirk Cousins making $45 million a
He
year.
can at least lead us to victories.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, didn't he get waived the other day?
No, but we are. They're going to.
Oh,
Also,
I think they were about to, and then James Pierce is playing GTA 6 in real life, so they had to stop.
also Geno Smith making more than Sam Darnold is
right?
stands
What a
out as
call
well.
by the Seahawks. Like,
Yeah.
no, we're gonna get a better player for less money.
Yeah.
I mean, the Raiders, like, are they gonna have to eat that salary when they draft Mendoza? Yeah, he signed through 2027. So
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
1 year though.
yeah, it's still annoying.
Or you just let him play and suck again and get another good pick.
The Dak contract is
What, Sam?
brutal as well.
Not
Like, are they gonna start Mendoza day one?
what?
Are the Raiders going? Is Mendoza gonna start week one?
Just say that
Yes.
aloud a few times, and then you'll get the answer.
Yes.
Where's the Dak contract? Oh shit,
60
he's the
million. He's
highest
number
paid
one.
quarterback.
He's number one.
Oh, okay.
60 million.
Okay, yeah.
The Deshaun
Okay, I thought
Watson
that-
one just makes me laugh.
The Deshaun Watson's so bad. He's 46
So
million.
so there's a few rookies at the bottom of this. Jade
Yeah.
Daniels will reset the market. Caleb
Cam-
Williams will probably reset the market.
Yeah.
I think Williams will. I don't think Daniels will.
Drake
See,
May.
See, is it going to be like? Okay, so this is what happened. We kind of talked about this like a couple pods ago, and this is what I was making, like the Tua thing, where in the Kyler thing, where you pay top dollar for a quarterback that just is not worth it. Like, what are the Carolina Panthers going to do for Bryce Young? Like, are they going to be like, here's 36 million, take it or leave it? And is the NFL going to be willing to pay Bryce Young $55 million? Like, I would never do that, but there's GMs that like, feel handcuffed to the situation and feel like they can't do anything else but pay the quarterback. Like, if you pay Bryce Young $55 million, your team is fucked.
I think they're going to pay him because they're going to keep holding on. They're not going to get rid of they're not going to let him walk because they get technically in a way they gave up Caleb Williams to get him. So like I just for their the trade, I just don't see them getting. I don't see them letting him walk so they can further vindicate themselves.
Though it's
going to be
you
similar.
Already made the move. Like
it's going to be similar to the contract Kyler Murray got.
Well,
it's like we don't want to let this guy go, so we're going to pay him a lot and
that's 55 million.
Hope that he develops and things work out.
Yeah,
but he was our first overall pick, so we can't let it go.
In a prayer. Like, dude, you know what I would do if I was the Panthers? I would say, here's 36 million, take it or leave it. And then the next time some free agent comes on the market, you do the Darnold contract. And so the next, you pay Daniel Jones for 2 years, $24 million. But you know what I'm saying? Like, isn't that a better way forward than the $55 million? You're in cap hell for the next 6 years.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely other ways around it.
I think another good question to ask though is there a Sam Darnold? Does that come along as often as we think it does? Does the Sam Darnold underpaid
Think
is
about it
able to
though.
lead you to a lot of success. Is that
Should
how
we
often does that
There's
come
should
up?
one.
we let's use
There's
let's
one now,
use
Mac Jones.
I agree, Arch. I agree. Okay.
We'll see.
He should get a chance, like
The same
somewhere.
theory.
Yeah, okay, but here's what I'm saying. Think about there's recent documentation of this happening. You've got Jimmy Garoppolo for the Niners going to a Super Bowl. You have Baker Mayfield for the Bucks reviving his career. Sam Darnold. You would have had another data point with Daniel Jones this year. The Colts were destined to make the playoffs, and he tore his ACL with at 8-2 or whatever it was, 8-3. So there's four in the last half decade. Like there's guys out there. No, Geno Smith,
No,
he's in that bucket. They they went to the playoffs with Geno
no, I
Smith.
don't. That's a good point. I don't.
So I guess, and then also I kind of wanted to bring this with we talk about John Snyder a lot. Like, dude, what the Seahawks have moving forward is so scary. Like, Darnold's locked up for a while. They have to pay Kenneth Walker this summer. They have to pay JSN and Devon Witherspoon next summer. So that's going to kind of put them in a little bit more of a salary cap because right now they literally don't. The only positions they pay top dollar for are Charles Cross, reset the tackle market, which I think is well worth it to pay your offensive tackle whatever he wants. And then they don't have like a lot of edge money. Their safeties, they have Love. They pay like 18 million a year. I think he's cap hit, so he's pretty high paid. But I mean, you look around the roster, there's just not a lot of guys making a ton of money. And then you've got like guys that are you don't have to pay until 2030, 2029. You have Derek Hall, Byron Murphy, Riley Mills, Nick Eamon-Wari. Like, dude, you've got such productive players making $1 million. So, my guess is like this draft, they keep loading up on defensive linemen because these edges are going to walk. Like, I think Boye Mafe, he only had 2 sacks this year. Like, they're probably not going to try to re-sign him at edge. We'll see. Maybe he'll take I wonder what the market says about that, but I bet they keep drafting D linemen and then skill guys. This is a team that could probably use another receiver, maybe in the 3rd or 4th round. They've got Horton, who got hurt. Obviously Cooper Kupp is on like the tail end. He's their highest paid receiver, and then JSN is going to reset the market. So you'd like to be able to move off you don't want to be able to pay another like 3rd receiver. You want to keep drafting rookies to fill that role. So I just think the Seahawks moving forward in the NFC, they're the class. Like if you got Seahawks, Rams, Eagles, Niners, that's kind of what it's looking to shape up like. Sam, you were going to say something?
Yeah, so like what you're just saying, while they might need a skill, like I think that the way that teams stay really good and really relevant is by drafting at not necessarily positions of surplus, but not having a draft out of necessity and desperation.
Yeah.
Being able to supplement your roster with maybe they can go and get a running back in the 1st or 2nd round if they're worried about Charbonnet or an aging Kenneth Walker, or maybe they can go and get a receiver in that latter half of the 2nd round. Like they're going to be able to pick the best overall player available because of how well-rounded their roster is. And that's where you see these teams just continue to backfill elite talent with elite talent is because they're not having to, draft a lineman and pray to God that he works. Or, like what you might, like I really hope the Steelers don't do this, is go draft a quarterback for the sake of drafting a quarterback. Like they're not going to have to do that.
The Kenny Pickett pick.
Right. And I saw a mock today with Ty Simpson, and it was disgusting. But yes, basically, yeah. Being able to draft at a surplus is a huge advantage because you can take higher level talent.
Yeah, I would go along with that just real quick. I think I think you're seeing more NFL teams in general, not. I think drafting for need, like sometimes it is warranted, but like if you're in the 1st and 2nd round and you have like these premium draft picks and you draft for need, more often than not, you're handcuffing yourself like so severely. Like you mentioned the Steelers, there's a few others in the past years but I think a lot of teams are going away from that. But I think the Seahawks hit, like I think they were drafted best player available the last 3 drafts, and they had Witherspoon.
Yeah, they had DK Metcalf when they drafted JSN.
And Lockett.
Like they've done that and they've hit on them. So I think that's going to be a trend that we see, but I also think it's the Seahawks are just they hit like you have to hit on those picks too, and they've done that.
Hey, so I want to do one more thing on this game, and this is like me and Dusko were talking about this today over text. Is the one big question you're going to see kind of the Pats kind of grapple with is Will Campbell going to keep playing guard or is he going to play tackle? I didn't. I watched every pass that he had against the Seahawks, and the internet's killing him. But I don't think he was as bad as people say, but there were some obvious flaws with him, and they have another tackle from UVA. He's like a vet. What's that guy's name? Moses.
Morgan Moses.
Yeah, Moses. So when you kind of like look at the film of both of them playing tackle, like Moses is obviously a vet, like looks a lot more comfortable, but to me, he's got the length and he's able to anchor way better than like Will Campbell is. A couple things I'll say before I let like kind of Duska go into his monologue about this because he's our O-line expert. I don't love his set. Like I feel like he waddles back kind of Duska, as opposed to being like super crisp the way Moses is. And then guys just get into his chest, like the long arm, where literally the guys just use their left arm rushing from the right, and then just like push him back, and he's literally like this, not touching them. Like that's something that he's so athletic, and he's such a boy dog when he gets his hands on you, and like I think he's probably the ceiling that he can take, where he's like an all pro guy, is guard, and I don't see him being an all-pro level tackle. Although I could see him being a serviceable tackle, but you got to kind of weigh which is more important because obviously tackle is more important than guard. But if he's going to be so much better at one position than the other, we'll kind of see what the Patriots do because they have free agency and they have a draft to go kind of figure out what they want to do at that position.
All right, so here I feel like I had some I was able to express my feelings well when I was texting you earlier, so I'm just gonna rattle off some of the things I said to you earlier. So first, concerning Will Campbell's pass set, I don't think that's as much of an issue for him. I kind of like his set. I think a lot of the times he puts himself in a good position, and it's his goal, and you can see what he's trying to do in pass protection. His goal is to get to a spot, beat the edge rusher to the spot, and make him play through his chest. So think of guys like the master of this is Lane Johnson. So think of Lane Johnson. People say he false starts all the time, and his ultimate goal is to get to a specific position as fast as possible to put himself in the most advantageous position to take on a speed to power or a bull rush, an edge defender using power against him. And that's what Will Campbell's trying to do as well. And I think for the most part, he gets himself into a good position. I think he's a little inconsistent with it, as most rookies are. And you saw some reps yesterday where he underset it a little bit or wasn't deep enough that he was accomplishing the goal of making the defender play through him. So you could see him give up a short corner. And there was one sack where Jared Wilson knocked the hip of the edge while Will Campbell was fitted up with him. So Will was in a pretty good position and anchoring down, but Jared Wilson knocked the hip of him because he was that's what guards do in pass pro. If no one's playing on them, they go and find work. So that's what Wilson was doing. Nothing he did was wrong, but Campbell was didn't get enough depth and gave up a bit of a short corner. So Wilson knocked him right into Drake May. Plays like that, you see the inconsistency of this set come out. But I also think I don't know if I would immediately move him to guard because I think his athleticism gets underrated and I think he's a fluid athlete that has traits that will make him successful at tackle. And I wouldn't just give up on that after a year. I think that he kind of reminds me of, and this guy goes pretty underrated. He doesn't have the accolades and Pro Bowls and all pros that you think, but he's been one of the most consistent tackles in the NFL his entire career. And Arch is intimately familiar with him. It's Jake Matthews. He reminds me of him in a way, but Matthews has refined his and been consistent over the course of his career and has so much experience at this point that he can get by pretty well no matter what. So I think that giving Campbell time to get used to what it feels like to have a NFL grown-ass man speed to power you instead of guys in the SEC or who are the same age as you. Like having DeMarcus Lawrence bull rush you compared to having an SEC edge from name your SEC school from South Carolina bull rush you. It's a little different. And I think that the most the times you see him struggle the most are when guys are able to get into his chest, which is his ultimate goal. And I think the arm length piece that's just something he'll never be able to fix, and something he has to find in his game that yeah, what's up?
I was just gonna say, like, it makes sense. Get to the spot, make people play through your chest. The problem is they do. Like they do. They're like, oh, sweet. Into the
Yeah.
chest. Like, I'm gonna maul you back into the quarterback. So, and my thing is like, it doesn't matter how many more benching you do, and like the technique can definitely be refined, but I don't know if I see like the the anchor that it takes against these edge rushers. Like your strength, like even I like Charles Cross coming out of Mississippi State. That guy, even as a rookie, he wasn't as like fluid of an athlete, but you could tell like from the get-go when people tried to bull rush him, like the strength he played with, he had like play strength that is not really gym strength, it's play strength. You know what I'm saying? So I just have like my eyes tell me like, does Will Campbell have the play strength at tackle? Which I feel like is fair, and we'll see like what happens. Because again, dude, they can develop and like he could become a technique wizard and get by.
I think the immediate fixes are, it's not like you go into the weight room one summer and you come out the next and you're a completely different guy. I think that, but getting a certain amount of snaps under your belt, that's going to help you. You're going to get a better picture of his ceiling at tackle. So I would give him a chance to get an off season and refine the things he struggled with. And the biggest thing for me is the inconsistency. So find a way to cue in your head that you need to do this every single snap based off alignment, what angle you're taking in your set. Get more refined and have a better understanding of what you're doing, and elevate that level you were able to play at in college and be consistent at, and find out how to do that in the NFL. And I think that just takes more than 1,000 snaps. It takes like 2,000, 2,500. So I think
I'm with that.
you need to give it a full chance, because I think he is a good enough athlete that he can play tackle in the NFL. And like I was saying, my comp for him is Jake Matthews, who isn't the longest guy, but he's able to get by because he has such consistent technique, and he knows what he's doing at this point. He's played 10,000 snaps in the NFL, 15,000 snaps in the NFL. So I think the ceiling for him could be around that, which is the Pat should take that any day of the week. So I'm not as convinced that he should just immediately be bumped into guard, but he might project better at guard and could play at a higher level there. So we'll see.
You guys ain't got anything else, Archer Sam, about this game, or do you want to move on to North Dakota State?
Yeah, I have one thing quick just
I
about
like it.
the Super Bowl in general. I feel like you hear this a lot on the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday when everyone is saying that, oh, it should be a national holiday and everyone should get off work, yada yada, which I agree with. But I think it'd be very hard. This is my fix to Roger Goodell and to the United States president on how to figure this situation out. I think that it's difficult to have a national holiday the week before President's Day and 2 weeks after Martin Luther King Day. It'd be a lot of holidays in a row. So my suggestion to Roger Goodell is, and I think that the NFL Players Association would like this, is with the amount of games that they are playing abroad, they even expanded this year, they're playing in Australia and somewhere else, and the amount of games that they play on basically every fall and winter holiday with Christmas, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, whatever. They play games all the time and the schedules get so weird. And my suggestion for the NFL is to move to the college football model of having 2 bye weeks. And with teams playing on Fridays and even Wednesdays, depending on where these holidays fall, that I think the players could easily get behind this, especially when you're getting close to a point where almost every team is going to play overseas and have short and weird rest. So I think a 2 bye week NFL season with the Super Bowl Sunday being the Sunday before President's Day, and then you have off. And that's how you fix the Super Bowl Monday foggy day at work problem.
Yeah, I think I would vote yes for that because today was literally horrendous. I don't even know what it was.
You also just extend your revenue period by another week. You just have another week of football.
Yeah.
So that's my fix.
I like that. I also thought Charlie Puth, it went under. We did a little segment on that. He was unbelievable. What an anthem. I thought Bad Bunny, I didn't really know the words or any of the songs, but I thought it was entertaining to say the least. So I think we didn't really get the memes that I thought we would, but what do you got?
I
What
thought it
say
was
you?
pretty good.
Yeah. Like I was like, oh, pretty good. I probably won't ever watch another full Spanish concert. So I was kind of digging it. I don't know. I was digging it.
I read
We
a really go ahead.
I was just gonna say the best call sheet over under was like Bad Bunny hip thrust. I wonder if that was a over under because he was getting loose out there. Sam.
I read a cool article today about the economic impact that the Super Bowl has on places outside of the host city. And like you just think about how much money people are spending on food, like grocery stores and televisions and just a lot of other things. There's a really interesting article about how much money is spent on Super Bowl Sunday and the day before,
Like a
just for like parties and other things like
like an
that.
actual holiday
Yeah, it was cool.
spending. All right. Do you guys want to move on to the college football segment of the show?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. North Dakota State, the Bison. They've won 10 out of the last 15 FCS national championships. They are going to the Mountain West. It's a really, really simple analysis for me. They're going to win it this year.
They can't win it this year.
Oh, they can't play.
They can't win until
They're gonna have
2028.
they're gonna have the best record
Yeah.
in conference.
Should we talk about I don't know if people are aware of the current construction of the Mountain West and some of the teams that departed and some of the teams that have
I
joined.
put it on
So
the doc.
I just
I put it on the doc. Read
I'll
them
break
off.
it down real quick. They lost, so arguably the best team they've had over the last decade. Boise State is gone. Colorado State's gone, probably one of the bigger markets they have in that conference. Fresno State is gone, historically really solid program. Utah State hasn't been great lately. San Diego State, historically solid program, I'd say. So
Yep.
they lost most of the teams that I think you would most identify with the Mountain West, maybe outside of UNLV or Nevada, something like that. But Boise State for sure. And then most of the other teams that you typically identify with the Mountain West are gone. And they added NIU, Northern Illinois University, and the University of Texas El Paso. So they've added one team from the MAC and one team from Conference USA, and they lost their probably
And one team
five
from the
most.
Missouri Valley.
Yes, and then they've added. I think this is a great get for them
Mhm.
based off what they lost, North Dakota State. But
They
just
immediately come in as like the best brand they have in this conference.
yeah,
Immediately.
100%. And I pulled some stats. The biggest one is obviously 10 of the last 15 national championships. Probably a move that maybe has been made a little too late, but it's better late than never. And I'm excited to see this team that's been able to achieve so much in FCS in 20 years move to the FBS level and see if the program and culture that you identify North Dakota State with, see if that can carry over into they're now a reasonably sized fish in a massive pond instead of being the big fish in the FCS pond, which is definitely a little smaller. I hate the loss for FCS football. This is an FCS football podcast first and foremost, and it's a shame that they're losing one of their top dogs, but that's just usually how it goes. I think the biggest stat for me though, they played 14 games against FBS opponents in school history, and they've gone 9-5 with FCS resources, FCS budgets, FCS amount of scholarships that you can have. They've had all these disadvantages against FBS teams, and some of these wins are over Power 4 programs, and it's very impressive. They beat Minnesota twice, they beat Kansas, they beat Iowa, they beat Iowa State. They have some really impressive FBS wins on their resume, and you're going to see that continue. I think you're going to see that continue to build as they progress. And then I think the most telling and identifiable part of North Dakota State, and you see it you've seen it over the last 10-ish years, is this is a program that has consistently put guys in the NFL, and it's really impressive to be able to do that at a consistent level at the FCS level. And you saw it last night. Two of their former offensive linemen won a Super Bowl last night, Gray Zabel and Jalen Zundell. And that's just proof in what you're getting with a program like this and how much success they've had in the past. And I'm excited to see that how it translates to the Mountain West and FBS football and that relatively weak conference.
Arch, what do you feel about this?
I thought it was a good move for them. Interesting that I was looking at some terms. They're paying $17.5 million for this move, $12 million to go, or $12 million, $12.5 million to join the Mountain West, which I think is a little steep for joining that conference, and then $5 million just to move up. I'm interested to see because I know they're only a football only move, so they're only going to be in FBS for this so I'm interested to see what that does with their revenue sharing. Kind of like a technical thing, because I don't think they have like an insane amount of like resources, like money wise. I think they're a great program. So I'm interested to see how their like revenue sharing and NIL structures can be able to match up with like Air Force. They don't get any, but it's like some other schools like that, like
UNLV.
UTEP, they have UNLV, UTEP has a decent one. I know I've seen San Jose State, I just think a lot of these teams have more of like an earning potential, like with their revenue sharing, like NIL, with I think they're more lucrative. So I think it's interesting to see, but I mean, I don't think that's I still don't think that's going to matter. I think that North Dakota State's going to hit the ground running in the Mountain West.
Yeah, they're the type of program their guys don't care about money as much as they're not a mercenary program like a lot of these Mountain West schools where they're just taking kids from the portal and letting it ride from like P4 bounce backs. Like this is they're going to recruit the Dakotas, they're going to recruit the Minnesota, and like they're going to play ball. Sam?
Yeah, my take is to go a different route. I think this is going to be a popular head coach destination. I think that similar to a JMU where you could see this team succeed early on, and you'll see a lot of, like Arch was just saying, a lot more of a player development than you would at other schools because of their most likely lack of resources. So I could see this being a job that you see teams start to poach from, especially in the next 5 years. If they get a couple guys, then they go 10-2 and compete for that last playoff spot. If that's even still a thing. But yeah, no, interesting move. I don't have a ton other than I think we could. I predict that in the next 8 years, a high level P4 school will hire their head coach at some point.
Like basically JMU, like kind of like Bob
Exactly.
Chesney, Kurt Signetti type.
Yeah,
of
or like Oklahoma State hiring the North Texas coach.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
I have one more angle. What do you have?
No, go.
I was just gonna say I think it'll be interesting to see what other big FCS programs, what other Missouri Valley or Big Sky teams follow North Dakota State to the Mountain West, because they have traditional rivalry with South Dakota State, who is also a powerhouse in FCS. They won the national championship this year. So I think it'll be interesting to see what those Dakota teams do, what the bigger Big Sky teams do. South Dakota State didn't win the national. Montana State won the national championship, but what those schools do, the Big Sky teams like Montana State, and the Dakota teams, what those traditional FCS powerhouses do with this move. And I think that could be a good angle for the Mountain West, is to bring all these popular traditional powerhouse FCS programs into their conference and
these
see
are stalwart programs. These are well-run
with good fan
attendance,
bases.
Great
Yes.
attendance.
Yes.
Like, the top 4 attendance fan bases was JMU, North Dakota State, Montana State, Montana, South Dakota State. So like 2 of those fish are gone. I fear the other 3 are also gone. I'm sure in the next 5 years. I just don't see a way where Montana State, South Dakota State, maybe even the North or South Dakota. Like there's a lot of good FCS teams. Like I wonder what Big Sky teams make a move. Maybe it's maybe
you hear about Jax State every year. You have to imagine they're leaving.
Yeah.
UC Davis is going to the Mountain West for football. So I think in the next few years. I don't
Eastern
think it's this year.
Washington has been a perennial
Yeah.
power in FCS. So, dude, I just think I feel bad for the FCS because it's really gonna. It used to be like there was at the top of the trees in the FCS were FBS level caliber programs like NFL talent. Like this in the last like 5 years, you've lost North Dakota State, James Madison, Jax State, and Kennesaw State, which played for the CUSA championship this year. You lost Delaware. You lost Missouri State from Missouri Valley. So Missouri Valley is getting plucked. The Colonial Athletic is getting plucked, and those were two of the three big conferences. The Big Sky's the only one that's still intact, and I can't imagine nobody's on the phone with Montana and Montana State right now. For instance, the Mountain West, because the Pac-12 is not great. It's not a great. I wonder
Literally the Mountain West.
I know, but I think
Yeah.
the Mountain West, they have an angle here to overtake the Pac-12. We'll see, because the Pac-12, like Boise, Colorado State, Fresno State, Gonzaga for everything else but football, Oregon State, San Diego State, Texas State, that's a weird one, Utah State, and Wazoo. So not a ton of moving brands, but if the Mountain West in 2032 is like North Dakota State, South Dakota State, Montana State, Eastern Washington, plus Hawaii Air Force, that's a compelling league. That's
way more fun.
Probably right under, because right now the American Athletic is the class of the G5. Even with losing, they lost SMU, they lost Cincinnati, they lost another
UCF,
Houston, and UCF, and then they just kind of reloaded like Tulane, Navy, North Texas. I'm forgetting a big one.
JMU?
Huh? That's CUSA. We're talking American Athletic.
Are they?
They're CUSA.
Never
I mean, Sunbelt. They're Sunbelt. What's the other big? USF. So I mean, they're the class of the G5. So I wonder, the Mountain West, they have an angle here, and that could be like a super conference. That could be like 12, like a legit 12, 13 team conference. Exciting for the Mountain West.
Not looking good for FCS football though.
It looks terrible. It's bad. It's really bad. Especially with the Colonial, literally the Colonial Athletic is a shell of what it used to be. The only member that has any juice is Elon, and Elon was like a
No, it's not. It's Rhode Island.
Yeah, New Hampshire. Those three, but in terms of endowment.
Yeah.
In terms of endowment and projection,
good location.
School, yeah, it's Elon, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire. So it used to it used to be
Campbell,
A&T, Stony Brook.
A lot of teams that have a lot of this insane amount of revenue.
Yeah, but it's really sad in the Missouri Valley. You're cooked. Is Youngstown State gonna start rattling off championships? Probably not. Villanova is a big winner in all of this. The Patriot League is a huge winner in all of this, because with the FCS kind of regressing to the mean, that's pretty much where the Patriot League sits. So these teams become a lot more competitive. So your Lehighs, your Lafayettes, your Bucknells, your Villanova, William & Mary, Richmond, Fordham, Holy Cross, those schools become a lot more viable in this era.
My prediction for who the next FCS powerhouse is going to be with all this is Tarleton State, the Texas school. I don't think they're going to go FBS anytime soon, and I think they're poised to take over this the top spot.
Another sneaky winner in this, the SoCon. No, they're not getting poached, and they're in a really good recruiting base.
Agreed. Personally wanted Elon to make the move back.
Same. I think it's got to come at some point. You've got to think. But here's the thing.
So,
yeah, or it's a Patriot League move. I think it's one of those two.
I think
the
SoCon's
Patriot
more
League
likely.
would make more sense for Elon.
We do brand ourselves as such.
I don't know. Elon was in the SoCon for a long time, and
I know, but
it's geographically makes way more sense.
For sure.
And FCS, one credit to FCS conferences outside of the CAA is that they still make geographic sense based off of the teams that are members outside the CAA, which now spans the entire East Coast. But
yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's a sad day for the FCS football. because Montana State's athletic director is probably on the phone as we speak. But that's all we got for this part of the podcast. We're going to stick around and we're going to do a little bit of hockey talk. If anybody wants to stay, you are welcome to stay. We're going to get a friend of the program on this.
I'm gonna
One last
pop off.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop off. One last
Yeah.
thing is they ruled the Bama center ineligible.
Yeah, I
Big-
saw that.
Big news for
Dude, you
college
guys-
sports.
Have you guys seen what's going on with Peterson, the Kansas player?
He's like on a minutes restriction. He just got ruled out for the flu tonight.
Doesn't
He's
like playing basketball.
Dude,
Like,
I keep
Yeah.
saying this, bro. I keep saying this. It worries me about his draft stock. He is the best pure scorer in this draft class. He's got an unbelievable mid-range. He shoots the three ball. He play makes. He uses his offhand well. He reminds me a lot of like Shea's game. And
Kansas is battling though.
but DeBonza plays every game.
only problem is he hates basketball.
Yeah. Billy,
Dude,
Or
he went
draft-
through a full warm up and then right before the game, he used the flu. What?
Billy, this is Darren Peterson. He's unbelievable at basketball. His only defect is he hates playing
hates it.
basketball.
I would if the Sixers had the first pick, I'd take DeBonsa, not Peterson.
And then I think we're seeing, if you've watched any of the Duke game, North Carolina put Boozer in every ball screen in the last 4 minutes, and they ate him alive. So I think his defensive stuff is gonna hurt him. And
He's
keep
got
him
some
on-
athletic limitations, I'd say.
Yes, dude.
Dude, college basketball has been so sneakily good this year and no one's really realized it
It's been awesome.
until like this next few weeks.
There's a ton of good
excited.
angles. I'm excited to talk it. I love college basketball.
I've been like I've been poking on. This has been a really good game so far.
The St. John Xavier game, we got on the pod when it went to overtime. I didn't get to
nuts.
see. What was that? Who won?
They won. St. John's won.
The Johnnies. Come on. Dusk Guy.
No, I was kind of rooting for his brother.
his son.
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
meant.
I'm a Johnny's guy though. Since I picked him to win the 20 last year and they lost in the round of 32, and I said it's not this year. It wasn't wrong. I was just a year early.
I gotta
Hey!
reconvince.
How we doing?
What up, Weiss?
Hey, Reese.
What up, boys?
What up?
What's up, Isai?
How we doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Chilling. I'm excited to be on, dude. I'm a little nervous to be honest.
Yeah, well,
First pod.
these two are about to
Yeah,
leave
we're about
on
to
the
pop
pod.
off and
Oh,
leave
no,
you guys
God.
to the hockey talk.
All right. Welcome back to the podcast. We got a special guest here, Isai Morse. This is the South Lake Drive trio coming at you. We're going to do some hockey talk. We got the Olympics coming up. We're excited. Everybody's in their Team USA gear. We got Sam and his Team USA. Isai, show your Team USA real quick. Very nice, very nice. So, gentlemen, this is a 2-horse race in the Olympics this year. In the odds market, Canada is plus 120 to win, and USA is plus 175. Now, there's a tier 2 of this thing where it's Sweden and Finland at plus 600 and plus 700. Then you've got the Swiss and Czech at 25 to 1 in like the tier 3. So it's really a 2-horse race with some splash from Europe. We'll see what ends up happening. But one thing I want to talk about this year is Team USA, kind of the new roster construction that's going on this year. So we have Clayton Keller and Tage Thompson this year, who are both top 50 in scoring in the NHL right now. And then obviously Quinn Hughes being back is huge because that's the American version of what Cale Makar does for Canada with the puck moving, the skating, the scoring. They both actually have 57 points through like 50 some games this year. So they're tied in points. They both have Norris trophies. Obviously Makar is like a better player, but Quinn Hughes is 80% of what Cale Makar is, which is damn good. So Matt Boldy this year for the United States has been a revelation. He's got 32 goals, 30 assists, 62 points. He's 15th in scoring. Eichel's having a career year. I think he's the best player on our team. He's not the captain, but I think he's the best player on our team. And I just love how he play makes. And because of his playmaking, he'll be centering, I believe. I put it in the doc. He's centering the Kachucks. That's what they have right now. No. Matthews is centering. No, yeah, Eichel's centering the Kachucks. So you've got play finishers with the Kachucks who haven't played a lot of hockey this year because of injuries, but I like the play finishing they have on the wings for Eichel. And then the first line they had out there was Gensel, Matthews, and Boldy. Again, Boldy has been awesome, play finisher, 30 goals. And then you've got Jake Gensel, who nobody finishes plays in big situations more than Jake Gensel. Sam?
Yeah, I think so. When you look at this initial like lines from these first few practices, I wouldn't put a ton of substance into these just because I feel like you're going to get a lot of different combinations, especially I'll get into this later with the way that the groups are kind of laid out. And these first three games really shouldn't be much of a challenge for the US. So I think that we're going to see a lot of, just playing around with line combinations. But I do think that based off of what we saw at the end of the Four Nations last year with the Kachucks playing with each other, they're going to be together for most of the tournament, especially in your bigger games when you're going to have to play Sweden, Czech Republic, Finland, and Canada. I mean, I think Eichel's the perfect center for them because he does have a little bit of nastiness to his game, unlike a guy like Matthews, who I don't think is a really good fit to play with them. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is a really good roster. It's a really good top six. And I think you're going to need one of Gensel or Boldy to really emerge as a consistent goal scorer in order to keep pace with this Canadian roster.
Yeah.
Because no matter how you can spin it, like our bottom six doesn't even come close to Canada's bottom six. So you need this top six to produce at a really high level in these games that are going to be a lot more challenging than when you play Latvia and Denmark and Germany. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
we're going to
mean,
need a lot from Gensel and or Boldy.
I agree with you, but it's not like Larkin. I mean, Larkin, Nelson, and Thompson all have I think Larkin has 29 goals this year. He's been on pace to be really good for a career year for the Red Wings. And then you've got Tage Thompson, who's been like a revelation in Buffalo. So I think like our bottom six is sneaky. It's not like Marchand, Crosby, like it's not that. But I mean, think about here's the fourth line for the what's his it's for Canada is like Horvat, Hagel, and Reinhardt. Um, I think that's like gettable for us. Like, don't you think that's gettable for us or no? You think like that's blows our fourth line out of the water? Like you hear Horvat, Hagel, Reinhardt, and then you hear um Miller, Nelson, Hughes. Like, is that different, Isai?
I mean, I think it's different. It's tough. Like I love Jack Hughes. I love Brock Nelson, JT Miller, all great players, but stacking up against the three from Canada, yeah, I mean, I'm taking Canada on that all day on that one, personally. But
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Here's the macro take I have. You were gonna say something.
I think Jack Hughes is going to I'm worried about Jack Hughes
I'm
this
worried about
tournament.
Kyle Connor more than Jack Hughes, but
The
yeah,
small
similar
ice is
similar
not fit for
reason,
Jack Hughes' game.
mhm.
similar reasoning for both. Yeah.
You don't think Bennett, now that he's called up, is going to get out there and want to? Because if they hit Hughes and get Hughes off his game, they're going to get his brother off his game. That's the small problem with the brothers, the thing. They're going to stand up for each other, and if Hughes gets lit up, which I think he will, we cannot do the same fighting thing that we did last time.
Well, you
It's
can't
not going
fight.
to work.
You can't fight. You can't fight.
You get ejected. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
well, they're not doing
You
that. They're not.
can't. Yeah.
But you, Isai, you were saying or no?
No, I was just gonna say I do like that point Sam brought up. I just saw a video the other day, and it was after Jack Hughes took a nasty hit, and then Quinn went out and retaliated, and next thing you know, he's in the box out of the game. I could see that happening again, and I really don't love Jack Hughes in some of these big time games on the smaller ice. I think it's just not his style of play, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe time will tell.
I think I like to give them a chance because Hughes was not good in the Four Nations. He was not good, but he was also in a top six role there. So they're
Mhm.
gonna give him a more bite-sized role being in the bottom six. And he's got Keller pushing him because like if he plays bad one game, Clayton Keller's in. Clayton Keller is like 35th in the NHL in scoring right now. He's having a hell of a year for the Mammoth. So like it's an easy plug to be pulled. So I think like And you're not asking Jack Hughes to give you 17 minutes. You're asking him to give you 13 minutes of like good ice time. Like, so I think it's like a more bite-sized role. Like Four Nations, he was in the top 6 role, him and Connor, and they both played really poor in that. I have a macro take though on the coaching in this tournament because in the NHL, you've got like hierarchical rosters where you've got like Crosby making 10 million all the way down to Wotherspoon making 1 million, right? So you've got your solidified top 6, your solidified bottom 6. And I think coaching matters more in the Olympics and in international play tournaments than it does in NHL teams because NHL teams have a clear like hierarchy and in like dude, like you'd be crazy to pull like Shesterkin in a playoff game after he let up 2 goals, but like in an Olympic game, you could definitely pull like it's okay to if Hellebuck lets up 2 goals in 4 shots, like Swayman or Ottinger is going in the game, like and that's like the maybe not, but that's the plugs you can pull. I'll tell you what, if Benner gets struggles, I mean Jordan Binnington has statistically been the worst goalie in the NHL this year. He's got a .864 save percentage. His 5-on-5 goals saved above expected is negative 13.61, which is abysmal. And Logan Thompson, their backup, who starts for the Capitals, his save percentage is 910, and his 5-on-5 goals saved over expected is 49. So, I mean, we're talking about 2 very different goaltending seasons. Like, I would not be shocked if Canada's net is an open tryout the first 3 games. Like, but I'm saying, going back to the coaching point, like what John Cooper and Mike Sullivan are being tasked to do here is pull all the right little strings. Like another one, is it Sanderson or Hannafin for the 6th spot defensively?
Yeah, you have to push the right buttons, and it's whoever's hot. Like this is what's nice, and I'll talk about this now quickly. We got lucky with our pool. Like looking at we play for people that don't know, our pool is U.S., Germany, Latvia, and Denmark. Group B, which I would call the group of death, is Finland, Sweden, Slovakia, and Italy. So like 2 very, very good teams, and Slovakia is a respectable squad.
Yeah.
And then Canada's group is Canada, Switzerland, Czechia, and France. Wow.
Switz and Czech are good. That's NHL guys.
Like they're solid, respectable teams. And France has NHL guys. We're playing Artur Silovs in game 1. That's like their only respectable NHLer.
No. We're not playing him. I did some research. We're playing
Is the other guy their other goalie going to start?
Elvis Merzlikins, who's the starter for the
Jackets. Will start.
They also have Teddy Bluger. Didn't know he was Latvian. Who knew? So yeah, I think, but actually, Sivas has been better than Merzlikins this season. So that's kind of an open netminder competition because over the career, Merzlikins has been better, but the hotter goalie right now is Sivas. But you're right, Sam, in terms of like the Germany team they have 5 players. It's JJ Paterka, Draisaitl, Tim Stützle, Moritz Seider, and then Philip Grubauer in net. It's like they have 5 guys. Like,
yeah, and that's game 3. Like by that time.
And dude, you can only play so many minutes in hockey. That's the thing. Like if Draisaitl comes out of the gate flying, like dude, by the 3rd period, it's over because like he's gonna be double shifting, playing all the special teams. Like the strings for Germany are like ride your big horses, but those horses, there's just no way they can like maybe for a game they could get you, but I mean, if you're going to go to the medal game, the gold medal game, you're playing 6 games in 9 days. These back-to-backs, I wonder if they do the NHL thing where like each goalie plays on a different back-to-back night or they ride it the full way through. Like, you know what I'm saying?
For the U.S.?
For all these teams, like all these teams, most of these teams have 2 NHL goaltenders per roster. And then obviously the U.S. and the Canada, like the Sweden and the Finland, they have like all 3 NHL goalies. But like even what's his name? Who's the I'm trying to think if it's the Slovaks or I think Czech has like they have the Duck starter. Some team has the Wilds like starting duo. I think it might
the Wild
Gustafsson?
It's no. It's
McKay, right?
Dude, I wrote this down somewhere. Yeah, it's one of the freaking Euro teams. But anyway, yeah. I wonder if they do like
so I would
Jesper Welspat or Gustafsson.
Is it Gustafsson?
Yeah, it's Gustafsson.
Oh yeah, for who?
I mean, he plays for the Wild.
Pretty sure that's Sweden.
No,
Yeah.
it's no. That's oh yeah. Okay, yeah. They're gonna ride. So I wonder, like, are they gonna ride that duo for like in a back-to-back game because they both kind of split time for the Wild. Like they're used to that type of environment where like, hey, on back-to-backs, like we're gonna split this up. I wonder, like, does Canada do that? Does US do that? Like we've got the goalies
And
depth.
we'll do that
You
because
think?
we can.
Is it Ottinger or is it Swayman?
I think Otter.
Otter for sure.
Swayman's been a lot better this year.
I don't think they like you. At some point, you have to like for goal. I don't like goalie statistics that much. Um, but what, like again, this is where we have the luxury of a soft opening round where like Hellebuck will probably get the first game, and then we have a day in between, so Hellebuck might actually get that second game too,
Mhm.
and then like probably Otter in the third. But like I'm lately, if you're the other teams like Latvia or Denmark or Germany, like someone that's fighting to get into that elimination round, I could see them playing their worst goalie against the US and almost like accepting defeat.
Yeah.
Sacrificing.
Yeah. No, that makes sense because like a lot of these teams do have like pretty good goalies. Like these teams, like for instance, let's take like the Czech for example. Like obviously they've got Hurdle, he's 48th in NHL in points, Pasta who's 6th, Natchez who's 15th. Um, and they've got Lucas Dostal, who's like the Ducks starting goalie, and then they have like NHL backups as well. So it's like, are you gonna ride Dostal 6 games in a row, or like when you play Canada, are you just in the group? What is that their group?
Yeah.
Like, when you play Canada, are you gonna play your like backup? But is that sending the wrong
Probably.
message? You know what I'm saying? But like,
Uh-uh.
there's a bunch because they got like, and then the Czechs also have. This is one of my favorite storylines. Is Roman Cervenka. He's one of the guys they have. He was the IIHF Player of the Year in 20. They call him the best player in the world, not in the NHL. He's like some 40-year-old that just lights it up in Europe. And so like supposedly him and Pasta like always play well together in like the World Championship. So like they're gonna ride. Like it's fun to see like some of these like European dudes get on the ice with the NHLers, and it's like when you see like, Olympic basketball, and you're like, who the fuck is this guy murdering the U.S. right now? And it's like some white dude from Serbia who like has never sniffed the league, but or he played like 2 years for the Lakers back in 2018, and now he's like balling in Europe. So it's like the same type of storylines happen in the hockey, which I like. What are you looking at, Sam?
The Czech roster. I thought the first overall pick was from Czech.
No, that
Yeah.
is Slovakia. Yuzov what's his name?
Slavsky or
Slavkovsky.
Yeah,
Slavkovsky.
Jurev Slavkovsky. So like he's been good this year for the Canadians. Like that's the Slovaks are riding him, which I
Well,
mean,
Slovakia is not that bad.
no, they're not bad. They're not bad at all. But they're with like they're in the Germany tier. The like the tier 3, like I said, is Switzerland and Czech. Like Switz has who's Switz? They've got like Nico Hischier, Timo Meyer, Roman Yossi. Like, dude, that's like a legitimate squad. The Vegas backup, Akira Schmidt, he's been like pretty good this year. Nemo Niederreiter, like there's like NHL dudes. And the Swiss A League is one of the best leagues in Europe, the Swiss A. So like they've got a bunch of guys that play in that Swiss league that are nasty. That's like the Swiss league is like check me, Sam, but I think it's like the Euro League and the NBA. Like that Swiss A League is no joke.
But the Swiss A League is good.
Yeah, really good league. So I mean they're pulling a lot of guys from that. But kind of back to the Canada, like the Canada US thing, like what Doug Armstrong and Billy Guerin. Doug Armstrong is like the Blues exec that runs Canada, and then Billy Guerin, like the US exec that for the Wild that runs the America. And like what they've done, like they've put together these rosters that you're like, dude, there are big guys like the Tom Wilson and Sam Bennett's with like couple that with like your Larkins and just some of like the defensemen that we like they've built these rosters. Oh, the Brock Faber and Brock Nelson. Like we've built really solid teams, and now it's like, what are the strings going to be that are pulled? Canada has 6 shoe-in Hall of Famers. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
They're
six.
Their third line is the greatest third line I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, I mean, that blew me away seeing Crosby on the third line. Now I
Yeah.
know they have an amazing top
That's-
six above that, but that was wild to see.
Dude,
I mean,
the Crosby, Stone, Marner, like in the third
Bro,
line.
the Celebrini and McDavid together is going to be like
Oh.
actual scenes.
and then
Dude,
Wilson,
wait, Wilson's
forechecking.
like the goon who's just like in
It's
front of
actually the
net.
sickest line I've ever seen
I
created.
was so excited when I saw that. I can't wait to see what they do. And
Dude, you know who's been a revelation this year in the NHL? It's Suzuki. I'm glad he's like, not only did he make Canada this year, he's a top 6 forward for them. Like this is Suzuki, McKinnon, Marchand is disgusting.
Dude, like you don't think that line is just going to like I think Bill Guerin is going to have to answer a lot of questions if the US does not
Because of Robertson?
because of Robertson and Cole Caulfield.
Okay. Here's my thing though. You're bitching about Jack Hughes making the team, and you're like,
I'm not bitching about Jack Hughes making the
but
team.
I'm saying
And
you're
when did I
bitching.
say that he should
No. I'm saying you're bitching about Jack Hughes being like, oh yeah, I don't really like his game translating well, and then you're like, oh yeah, Cole Caulfield, like that'll translate great to this ice. So you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
didn't say that. I said that he's going to have to answer questions for them not making the team.
why? What question? Let me. All right,
Robertson is top in points.
let's
I don't
roll.
have it up, but he's top in points.
No, okay, so Robertson, not Caulfield.
well, I mean, both.
I wasn't big on
They
Caulfield, but
win out.
Caulfield also just started popping off once he didn't make the Olympic team.
No, I get it. I'm just. I don't like. I mean, we love Nicky the Pipes on this pod, but like Trocheck, that's the one where I'm like, I don't know. Like, why even carry him? Like, that's an auto scratch. Like, is he playing all tournament? Like, that's where I'm like, why not Robertson? Like, he at least
He gives you. I never understood the Robertson thing. It's like, oh, he can only play on the power play, but like, you have the luxury of dressing 22 skaters in these games.
Yeah, and Trocheck doesn't give you anything besides like killing. Maybe I mean, but everybody can kill penalties. Like Austin Matthews kills
Oh,
penalties for the league.
relax. It's a skill.
It's an art.
Okay, well, McDavid kills penalties, so
Shit.
And I do think
Crosby
that
and Russ kill penalties.
Naming the best players on Team Canada.
Yeah, like literally the best players, like they kill penalties. Nice.
I wonder how like the guys are going to notice it. I wonder like as viewers how quickly we're going to be able to tell that this ice is shorter.
I mean, it's 3 feet shorter, a little bit
Dude, like if
wider.
we were playing on that ice, we would be able to notice like very
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
100%. Is it
3
the
feet.
And
neutral
these
zone?
guys that like I saw a video of this guy saying like Sid is going to be so pissed off,
He's gonna
which is
lose one.
true. But like I wonder how much it's going to really affect the game.
Is it just the neutral zone that shrunk, or just all dimensions, like all lengthwise shrunk in?
Well, it's actually wider. It's a little bit wider, but 3 foot
Yeah.
shorter.
But lengthwise though, like is it a smaller neutral zone, or they just took off 3 feet? And you get what I'm
I thought
saying?
it was 3 feet behind the nets.
Is that what it is?
I think it's
Oh,
behind. I thought
dude.
behind the nets was tighter.
Bro, that's like you can't even fit 2 guys back there. People are gonna
I'm pretty
die.
sure. I thought it was the
Wilson's gonna murder
nets.
someone.
People
back
are gonna die going back to chase dumps. Like, dude, Quinn Hughes is gonna go back there, and Tom Wilson is going to try and run him through the boards. And Kachuk. Okay, what do you say?
Yeah, and did you see the rink? There's like hella space behind.
It's
the,
very frustrating that they messed this up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you have one job. You're preparing this for years in advance.
It's the same
You
width.
messed up the measurements to a rink.
Okay, but don't you think? Is there an argument that our defensemen are better? I think way better.
I think depth-wise, 100%. Now, obviously, I mean, Makar and Taves, they're
Great
going to
pairing.
go toe-to-toe with anyone, obviously. Makar's probably the best defenseman in the league. Depth-wise, we're 100% better.
Dude, because okay. Let's play the Parayko game. You want to play let's play the Parayko game. Tell me if you would rather have Colton Parayko or this defenseman. Quinn Hughes,
Quinn Hughes,
Charlie McAvoy,
McAvoy,
Jacob Slavin,
Slavin.
Zach Werenski.
Oh, Warinsky's having his best season of his career this year.
He's balling
Okay,
out.
yeah, obviously Werenski. All right, Brock Faber.
Parayko.
No, I would give me Faber. So okay, we disagree on that.
I'll take Faber in that one.
Hannafin.
I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of his game.
I like Hannafin. I like Hannafin a lot.
Dude,
Sanderson. What?
Oh, Sanderson's such a beast. I
That's
love
what I'm
Sanderson.
saying, bro. Like,
No,
dude,
our defensemen are so much
I'm
better.
not arguing. I
no,
100%.
no. Because like Shea Theodore is old. He's old as hell at this point. And then you've got Sanheim, who, dude, the Pens. I love when Sanheim's on the ice for the Flyers. I'm like, let's go score here. Like Sanheim's on the ice. Okay, obviously Sanheim's good, but like Sanheim does not strike fear into you the way like when Morrissey comes on the ice and he's playing the Pens, you're like, damn it, there he is again. You know, like that's the 44 like pops off. Like when number 5 for the Flyers steps on the ice, like I'm not moved whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I think our defensemen are so much better. I can't wait to see the ice time come out. I mean, it's not going to matter, but like when we play Canada, I cannot wait to see Makar's ice time.
Like, bro, Sanheim and Theodore, like that pair can't play against like Eichel. Like they can't play against
No.
like, the Chuck
I don't
line.
even like the Doughty Harley pair, to be honest.
Well, they're not. Well, they're not touching the ice. That's it.
You know, that's what I'm saying.
Wait.
So
Time out.
I'm
Time
not
out.
winning them.
You could all these guys aren't going to be scratched. Like they'll take 8 defensemen. Sam.
So you can dress, I think I could be so wrong, but I think I read today that you can dress 22
Oh,
skaters.
so you could just one more. They'll probably take one more forward, one more defenseman. So they'll play
Yeah,
I think
70,
so.
70 and 13 forwards.
Because you dress 12 and 6 usually, right?
Yeah, but Harley was kind of good again last year for them. I liked Harley. I wonder if it's Harley or Doughty. Because
I don't
for
know.
us, okay, that makes sense though, Sam. Because like Lacombe is like going to be the guy that doesn't play for us.
Yeah.
I have a good angle.
Let's hear it.
The home team is going to be really important in the USA Canada game. Like really, really important to get the last change.
Yeah,
Ooh.
like line matching.
Yes, like
That's where-
insanely important. When
Yeah.
you have this high level of talent on the ice at all times, matchups are such an advantage. And being the home team, and this is where our soft group could help us out a lot, is that we'll be able to run because you have to run up the score as the tiebreakers.
Mhm.
I don't know I don't know how much the rules change, but I know in not in every other Olympics, the tiebreaker is goal differential.
Yeah, it'll definitely be that. That's what every hockey tournament in existence in
Yeah.
hockey has been.
So I think that in when there's this much skill on the ice and there's a large variance in like the way the identity of each line, that matchups are going to be huge.
Like, dude, when McDavid touches the ice, like so does Jacob Slavin. Like, oh, there he is. Go. Like the matching with that. And like how much does Quinn Hughes play on like the penalty kill?
It's hard to like say because like he probably plays a lot more on the PK for his NHL team versus like he would on the Olympic team. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, that's my point. It's like it's so fascinating to see like where Mike Sullivan goes. Like that's why after the I want to do another podcast after like the 3 games because then we'll kind of
Yeah,
get like a
totally. Because it's
feel
going
of
to be
like
hard to.
what's Sullivan doing because like I think Sullivan's a wizard. Like I'm a Mike Sullivan like guy till I die. Like that guy knows what he's doing and especially in big moments. I thought he pulled a lot of the right strings in the Four Nations. Like I think like we just ran
Yeah,
into it.
we're
Like
just
dude, that was
outmatched.
Yeah.
it wasn't even, bro. We weren't even outmatched, bro. They scored an overtime goal. Like, what do you like?
We just had a
No,
lot
I
of
mean like
defense.
we lost the game. I
One
didn't
bounce,
mean it
like
like that.
yeah, like
I meant we were
one
outmatched, so
bounce.
we
Like, bro,
lost.
that's a save. That's a save or a stop. Like,
Yeah,
whenever
Bennington
a
stood on his
game
head.
goes to overtime, like in any sport, like especially in hockey, anything can happen. Like, if you get it to overtime, like when you see it right now, it depends. Like, sometimes like, bounces just happen. And all of a sudden, you're fucking 1-8 in shootouts, and you've left 14 points on the board because you just can't win overtime games. But yeah, I'm excited to see kind of where that takes. All right, let's play. Sam, are you a Finland or a Sweden guy in that group?
Same group. They always it's always Finland and Sweden get the short end
Dude,
of the stick.
they always
Every
have to play
time.
each other. It sucks for them.
I'll ride with Sweden because we got some pens on Sweden.
We do have some pens on Sweden. Isai, you're up.
I mean, who's the goalies for Sweden versus
So
them?
Sweden, it's gonna be Gustafsson, And for Finland, let me find that out for you. For Finland, it's gonna be probably UC Saros, but he
No,
hasn't
yeah,
been.
Finland's sneaky. Finland's low key gross,
They're
actually.
sneaky. I always give Sweden the upper hand in those games, but I mean it's tough to say.
Here's the problem with Sweden in this game is
Oh,
like
dude, Sweden is stacked. They have
I know,
Rantanen.
dude. Here's
Forsberg.
no, Finland has ran it.
That's what I meant to say.
Dude, here's the thing about Finland though, Sam. Like their top
Oh,
six.
it's over. They have Olimata. Never mind. They win.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point. It's the top six of the Finland is so good.
Dude.
And the top three defensemen, like bro, Heiskanen, Mikkola, Ristolainen, awesome. And then it's like Lindell, Lettinen, he doesn't even play in the NHL anymore, and like Olli Mata. Like, dude, it severely drops off. Like Olli Mata is gonna have to skate with like Mika Zibanejad for like many shifts. Like Sweden is just a better constructed team, and that's why I think Finland. One of the notes I had was like this is just going to be like a grinded out puck possession, and then like special teams reliant team. Like what's our PP percentage? What's our PK percentage? Like because if we get hot in the special teams, like maybe we squeak out a few wins and like maybe we contend for a medal. But like, dude, somebody it has like either like Rope Hintz or Rantanen or like uh
Aho.
Luosterainen, Aho or Lundell, like they just got the top six have to like take it over if something like they get hot because like only Mott is gonna be playing. Like he's
Well,
playing.
Olimata boasts a stat line this season of 19 games played,
Ooh, so he barely
0
plays.
goals, 1 assist, and is a
Hey,
-4.
bro, he's playing in Europe next year. Like that's what happens to these Europe guys. They're like, fuck it. I only played 30 games this year in the NHL. It's a healthy scratch for most of them. I'm going to the Swiss A League. Like I'm
I think though, like when you start comparing like Sweden and Finland, it's like kind of apples to apples. Like these teams both have a good, like you just said, it's just gonna come down to like who executes. I think
yeah.
Finland actually has a better goaltending situation. They probably have. I'm just
Eh,
quickly looking at.
I don't know. I
Yeah, they
like
do. UC Saros? Yes, they
dude,
do.
he's been terrible the past like he's been
Doesn't matter.
super
It's UC
bad this year.
Saros.
I just think I'm kind of with Sam on this one. I think the Olympics is so much different though.
Well, they
Like
have Raymond. Oh,
Wait,
goodness
Sam, wait,
gracious.
guys. Guess the leading scorer on Sweden this year.
It's Lucas Raymond.
It's Lucas Raymond. Not
Yeah.
Zab not Zibanejad, Kempe, Nylander. Lucas Raymond has 60 points. He's 19th in the league. So
Yeah,
like
I'm familiar with Lucas Raymond. He's so
Raymond's
nasty. The Red
unbelievable.
Wings are disgusting.
Dude, him, DeBrincat, like I like the way Larkin, Sider. Yeah, the Red Wings play
Dude, the Red
ball.
Wings Lightning divisional round is going to be a war.
Yeah, that is gonna be a war. Um yeah, so that was like that's kind of what I got on this the Sweden and Finland side of things.
Yeah, I think basically, like, to really summarize everything is I think that we'll get a really good gauge of where these teams are at on Monday
Yeah.
and seeing, yeah, that'll be 1 week from today, and seeing how much continuity US is going to have. Like, are we going to like find a good rotation that works and kind of roll with it, or are we going to see a lot of because Sullivan loves to mix and match. He loves to do that. He
Yep.
loves to push buttons, and I think that's what makes him a great coach is his ability to be successful in that. And then you have a guy like John Cooper who has had very similar rosters in his time with Tampa and has so much talent on the Canadian side that it's almost hard to push the wrong buttons.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be really interesting to see which routes they go.
One note for Canada. So two of their Lightning guys are not playing. They got hurt. So Cervelli and Braden Point made the team,
Yeah, Braden
obviously.
Point's a huge loss to them.
Dude, big loss for Canada, especially because John Cooper knows what buttons to push with. Like, dude, last year, in the Four Nations, when he just started rolling out the Lightning line, like that shit was so annoying. They were so good, the Hagel Sorelli point line. Like that was like that became like their third line and they were disgusting. So I think losing like two of his NHL king piece plays is pretty annoying for him. Another thing for like the Canada US is because you're gonna play 6 games in 9 days to get to the gold medal game, the like Bennington I think will get his true colors will show. Like you can only be so good. Like if you're when in a small sample size, like when this is extrapolated into 6 games, like I think he's been terrible like for the past like couple of years. Like, he hasn't been as good as he's been a bottom tier NHL goalie who played really well in international play last year. Like I think there's a higher percentage that ends up happening. And then you get Logan Thompson in the game, and then it's like, all right, they pulled Tridiak, like let's ride. So except Benner is not Tridiak. So yeah, I mean, because it's a longer tournament, we're gonna be able to see like, all right, is our goalie advantage finally gonna show? Because you're like, all right, Hellebuck, and everybody kept saying that in the Four Nations, and then the goalie advantage never really showed up in the way we wanted it to. Did you guys watch The Boys of 80? It was the best documentary I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I thought that it was really cool to see the like more human side of it. And I really liked how they talked about the political um like the larger picture of the game. And I also thought it was sick that Ralph Cox was on it.
Yeah.
Sad, but it was cool.
And oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Jim Craig's backup.
Oh, Janicek being like a
Dude,
main character.
Janny
Yeah.
was like the best character. Janny was awesome. Like his
The
quote,
hardest quote of the entire thing.
dude, his quote about like he was like
You play the role.
yeah, he was like there's an old Greek philosopher. He says, you know, your job in life is to play the role you've been given. And the role you've been given is not up to you, it's up to a higher power. And like your job is to act that role to the best of your ability. And he was like, I tried to be such a good teammate to the guys and be like a positive force. And like I wanted to play. And there were 240 guys in that tournament, and he's the only guy in 1980 that did not get ice time. Like he really took one for the team. But then it's cool because he met his wife at the Olympics and they had children and he had a great life. So he was
I
like,
wonder how they met.
yeah. He said they were in a bar shooting pool. So pool and darts still very viable these days. Still very viable.
How about I thought it was insane. I kind of knew we kind of knew this, but it was interesting how they talked about how like none of them had a relationship with Herb Brooks, like even after the Olympics.
Only the Minnesota, only like Verkota and Mac kind of knew him at a personal level. Only the Minnesota guys, because it's Sam, I love how you brought this up. It's like the cost of greatness. Like because and he explained it because he said that
He didn't want to get too close to them because he
because
didn't want to cut them.
exactly because he wanted to be as partial. He said they deserved a partial look at this team, and he had to be like the overarching figure, and he couldn't be like one of the guys. And he loved that team so much, and like loved the camaraderie, and like, and then once the Olympic Games ended, like there's no team meeting after the games. Like you go back, like you're training for the NHL, you're going back to school, like you move on in life, and then he start coaching in the NHL. Like you can't build those relationships once you already spent the majority of the time together. And like it's sad, but like it's the cost of what greatness was. And like you're always gonna make
You know what?
sacrifices to do great things.
Fun fact, you know what country he coached for in the Olympics? Not the US.
Herb Brooks?
Yeah.
Slovakia.
Was it a European country?
Yeah.
Czech. Dude, it's like he's got to be like Serbian or Polish or.
You don't have to be a native of the country to coach for them.
Oh, really? You don't have to have any affiliation.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Sweden?
France.
France.
Yeah. Fun fact that you can use that next time you talk about Herb Brooks to someone.
Talk about he coached for France when?
When? Yeah, when?
Hold on.
In like the 90s or
Yeah, whatever like
It had to have been before, no?
$1998.
damn, which is
Led the
5
French
years.
team to 11th place,
Why?
5 years before he died.
returning to the US team in '02 to deliver a silver medal.
Maybe just to stick it. He probably was pissed off. You know Herb Brooks. Like
Something happened. He
yeah,
got
something
mad.
happened in a meeting and he's like, I'm coaching in France. Fuck you guys. I love dude.
They never
also,
like say why, but
also how good watching the documentary, you're immediately reminded like, wow, Miracle's the best movie ever made. Like it's so historically accurate, and Kurt Russell nails Herb Brooks. He nails him. Like Kurt Russell, like the performance he put on, and like the guys, like the camaraderie, like they did such a wonderful job. Like the only thing that's like made up, like obviously like the football house scene, but I mean, there's like theatrics and everything, but like this speech wasn't like some long monologue, but they had the card, and it was like it related back to what he said. He was like, "This is like you guys are ready for this moment. Go and take it." So like they at least had like the ending like pretty perfect, which is sick.
I think there is truth behind the football scene.
Really.
I thought that because they talk about having dinner at someone's house. I think that was partially true.
That which is exactly like most of the movie is like pretty historically accurate. Like oh, and like the Coxie stuff, like they make him a. I mean, this guy was like Herb Brooks was ahead of his time in terms of like hockey coaches. Like
Mhm.
I mean, he dominated the '70s at Minnesota, and um, I think it's the one of the quotes in the doc was like some guy was like, "I've never." Two of my favorite quotes was like, "I've never seen a more intense coach prior to Herb Brooks, and I've never seen it after." Like he was one of one. And then my favorite quote was Al Michaels tearing up, saying like, "People ask me like, what is the best moment in sports history that like beats this one?" And he's like, "Nothing." Nothing beats like that moment. Like, and then, dude, him and Ken Dryden in the booth, and they made it the exact same way. And I think they redid it. Like,
I think they just used
They used the
Al
original one,
Michaels.
no?
what?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's older in that,
No, if you watch the movie, it's the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same.
bro. They have different. No, they are speaking different. Like, in the movie, the way it's said versus the way it's said
The
in.
lines are different. Like
No,
the
the lines are the
speaking.
same, but the way they speak them is different.
Oh,
And
I'll
there's
have to
only
watch Miracle in
and it's
the
only
next few days.
20 years removed. Like Al Michaels looks older than he does in the original. Like I think they redid it with him and Ken Dryden, and like they did use the exact same lines, but obviously their speech patterns were like a little bit off. You would only be able to tell if you've watched Miracle on Ice 59 times in your life,
So it
which I
also is
have.
probably pretty easy for them to do that because Al Michaels worked for ABC and Disney made the movie, so that makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think they redid it, but they didn't even change like it was so good in the moment that they didn't fuck with what they said. Like
Oh yeah.
in the next 3 hours, when Ken Dryden's like in the next 3 hours, these men are
Oh
about to go
yeah.
through something that they've never had and perhaps never will go through again. They will be tested to the end of their like, bro, so hard, such a hard ass scene, and then it actually happened in real life. Like it was such a good watch. It was so sick. And like also, it's cool. Mark Johnson, just like them loving Mark Johnson. They're like, oh my God, he was so nice. Like he was our best player by far.
yeah.
And in the
It
movie,
was funny
like,
how Jack O'Callahan like that. I think Jack O'Callahan's in the skate in the movie, but
Yeah,
Jack O'Callahan's like, yeah, I didn't do it.
that was the funniest part to me. He's like, dude,
what?
it's the best. Like he's like, that was the game I didn't play, and the
Yeah,
skating.
because like they were they played so many games that
But
like
like 20
OC
games
was
in
a
Europe,
lock to
like,
make the
oh,
team, and he didn't play that game.
Oh, in the
And they like
Soviet games.
walked out. They walked out to like go out there. It's like they're like, oh, we feel bad. And
like,
Herb
we'll
was
see
like,
that.
no, you're not doing it. You have to watch them. That was like those are the best. It was like, yeah, you're not skating. You have to watch them. Like, okay.
That's a shame. Yeah, no, I mean, and then yeah, like the 20-year chase of like Herb Brooks like gets cut from the 60 team, 21st guy,
Mhm.
and then 20-year chase back to the promised land.
It literally just speaks. I know you already said it, but to just how well made and how well produced the movie was, just to see all these details, how true they were. I feel like a lot of times movies based on stories, there's just so much difference, so you can't put it all into one and make it good. But I mean, just unreal. Just solidifies it as one of the best movies ever made.
Because the story is so good, you don't need to like fluff it. Like you don't need to change it. This story does. It's a movie. It's a literal the movie. It's like going to be like the Indiana Hoosier movie that they make one day. Like they'll just probably cast Brad Pitt as as Coach
Sick.
Signetti and let it the story will just be, oh yeah, for somebody will play Fernando Mendoza and they'll just let it the ride. They'll be, pretty the Google Me interview, that'll probably be in it, verbatim,
Mhm.
Or you
So,
guys got to watch the Mendoza Sunday Conversations. Have you seen that yet?
dude, I saw it with Presley.
Oh my gosh. I was like audibly laughing. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck
Presley's
Fernando.
underrated.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got so far, fellas. So
Yeah, that's all. I think we should do a regroup on Monday. We'll be able to talk a little bit more about what's happened, what we like out of USA, what we're seeing.
yeah,
Some
we'll have
surprise. There's gonna be something will happen.
we'll have some actual data points to talk about besides just theory. But I'm so
Hypothetical. Yeah,
I'm
and it's so hard for theory for these because it's a not glorified. It's an all-star game between US, Canada, and Sweden. We don't really know what's gonna happen.
yep,
That'll be
exactly.
fun.
But yeah, we'll get some actual data points and yeah, super excited. The games are Thursday, 3:10.
Wednesday.
When? Oh no, Thursday.
No,
Thursday.
Thursday. It's Thursday.
The first game is on Wednesday.
How much money do you want to put on that?
The
US.
US plays Thursday. The first game is on Wednesday.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the US, dude.
Oh yeah, US plays at 3 o'clock Eastern time.
3 o'clock, 3:10 on Thursday. Then they play on Saturday at 3:10 and Sunday on 3:10. So if you're working on Thursday, I'll completely understand. You should definitely turn it on, but if you don't, I get it.
I'll be watching it on Thursday.
And you'll have no excuse on
Don't tell
Saturday and
anyone, though.
Sunday. You'll have no excuse not to put that game on. So, yeah.
My employer is not to be named.
Yeah, employer. Yeah, exactly. But excited for the US. I wonder if it's our moment. Again, Canada's nasty. Canada's gross.
There's so much talent that anyone can win.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who executes better? These practices right now are huge. Little camaraderie. I hope the US, maybe we do a little Italian dinner, maybe cooking class or some type of camaraderie.
You don't think these
activity.
guys have been hitting the Milan bars pretty hard
Yeah, I'm
the
sure they
last few
have,
nights?
which is good. We love, but no alcohol on Wednesday. No alcohol on
No.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
But
Tonight's probably the last night they get after it.
yeah, they should, and they should. So should they. So Maddie and Chuck, let's make sure we're in treatment. Let's be doing the right stuff. Excited to watch the boys just play some hockey.
You see their rooms? They have twin beds.
Really?
Yeah. So small.
Yeah.
At least they're not cardboard this year.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Issa. Yeah, I did not see the rooms, but whatever. Whatever it takes. You sleep in a twin if you win, you sleep in a twin if you lose. So be a winner.
Yeah.
It's my football coach used to say. He said when there was a wet practice or a rainy game, he'd be like, there's wet winners and wet losers. That's all there is. Figure it out. All right.